Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, let me add my thanks to you, Mr. Chairman, and Ranking Member Cardin for your bipartisan effort, and to those who are also participating, Senator Shaheen and Collins, for all the work that's gone into the small business agenda. It is really historic to show this bipartisan level, and frankly, we need it. We're not through this, and we need it to come through again. Access to capital is a persistent issue for small business. And one of the great things I was proud that our side focused on was the CDFI issue. I can see in my state where the CDFIs are basically getting out and getting, marketing themselves and getting access to capital to, frankly, small businesses who just got turned down by banks. So I know you can't guarantee how banks operate, but obviously this has been a problem, and we need to figure out solutions. People with good banking relations got turned down, and people without good banking relations probably never had a chance. So the CDFI process has been working, and we should figure out how to continue it. The issue that comes before us now today is that there are a lot of women and minority-owned businesses, always also a pervasive problem with access to capital, and this committee has done good work with that in the past, prioritizing smaller loan grants and a whole variety of things to get capital. But I do think that we should be looking at what my colleagues, Senator Cardin and Shaheen, are recommending, that we prioritize smaller size small businesses. I particularly think 10 and under, that make sure that we're getting access to capital. There are a lot of women and minorities that are small businesses under 10 employees. And again, how do they keep that business going if they don't have access to capital? So I hope in this next round we'll prioritize that, and I hope both of you will agree on that. I can say, because I worked a lot on various aspects of other parts of the bill in addition to the small business, that I saw Secretary Mnuchin many hours, day and night, working around the clock on these provisions, so I thank him for that. I want to ask you, so do you both agree that we should prioritize, figure out some way to make sure we're sending a message that we want small businesses prioritized under 10 people?
Yes, absolutely. There's a focus at SBA, and apologize for jumping in, but there's a focus at SBA with sole proprietors and independent contractors, because they are really not ones that are going to aggressively pursue loans. And so we have a task force at SBA dedicated to those particular communities, as well as dedicated resources to look at how we can optimize the CDFI community. We've done really well, up to 430 plus, yep. But we can do more.
Thank you. I have two questions, though, for you, the Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary Mnuchin, and that is, when we were doing the aviation part of the bill, we definitely thought that the aviation supply chain was critical to America's security. We thought of that as the aviation commercial supply chain, not just the defense supply chain. So we've had a couple of hearings in Commerce, and we want the dollars to go out the door to someone who is in the supply chain, who is making commercial manufacturing parts for the supply chain. We think that those dollars should be eligible to them. Do you agree?
I'm more than happy to follow up with you and talk to you about that. Many of the aviation supply chain is getting advances we've been monitoring, but to the extent there's specifics, I'm happy to address them with you.
Well, the $17 billion that was there, we believe the definition of important to national security is commercial. You didn't have to be engaged in a defense contract. That keeping the commercial supply chain is critical to our national security, because if we don't have a aviation sector, it's going to impact us. So definitely want those dollars out the door, and there seems to be a problem. Another area that there are problems with is $8 billion for our tribal governments, and as somebody who represents 29 different entities in the Northwest, definitely want to see those dollars out the door. Can you tell me when the $8 billion for tribal governments will be distributed?
Yeah, I'll tell you, the second tranche of that money is going to go out tomorrow. And that the only thing that is going to be held back at that point is the litigation issue associated with Alaska.
Okay, on the tribal issue, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but the money, the first tranche went out. The second tranche is literally going out tomorrow.
thank you.
Or actually, maybe Friday, I apologize. It's either tomorrow or Friday, but it is
Okay.
going on.
Well, I'm definitely going to follow up with aerospace. And again, everybody, let's keep working in a bipartisan basis, but let's not forget those that are getting left behind. It's complex. It's always been a problem. Getting access to capital for those who are small is always hard. Thank you.